Think trusts are just for the ultra wealthy or the elderly? Think again. Irrevocable trusts aren't just a legal maneuver for the rich and famous. They're a powerful tool for anyone looking to secure their financial future. Yes, even you. Hi, I'm estate planning attorney Mike Smith with Smith Barid LLC, and I'm one half of the Estate Planning Guys. Today, we're diving into the world of irrevocable trusts and how they can play a crucial role in your financial strategy. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an influencer, or well into your career, it's never too late to think about protecting your assets. So let's talk about what is an irrevocable trust. And notice I'm using the term irrevocable. So often you'll hear me talk about a revocable living trust, and there's a fundamental difference in those two, and it's right in the name. A revocable living trust means that you can revoke it or change it at any time. Irrevocable trust, on the other hand, means that it cannot be revoked and you can't make changes to it. The truth is that there are still some ways that you can change an irrevocable trust, but it's just very difficult to do that. So before you set up an irrevocable trust, you want to make sure that you're certain about what you're doing and why you're doing it, and that you've got it set up right, because once it's done, it's kind of done. So it's not easy to change that, but that's one of the key reasons that it is great for protecting your assets. Next, let's talk about why should you care? Why am I worried about an irrevocable trust? Irrevocable trust can be great for individuals at any stage of life. They are great for asset protection purposes. And there are certain jurisdictions like Wyoming, Nevada, South Dakota, Alaska, Tennessee, others that have implemented specific trust statutes that offer extra protection around the assets that are inside the trust. And even in other states that don't have specific trust protection, asset protection statutes, there are ways that you can create irrevocable trusts that will give asset protection to the assets in the trust for the beneficiaries of the trust. Irrevocable trust can be great for asset protection, but you are giving up some control over the assets. And so you want to be certain about what you're doing and that you're willing to give up that control before you create an irrevocable trust. Another use of irrevocable trusts can be when we need to take care of an estate tax issue. So if we have someone who's over the estate tax, we can use an irrevocable trust in different ways. Number one, we could set up a gifting trust. That could be, for example, for grandchildren, that the person that we're planning for, the trustor, could gift assets into that trust. They're protected for the beneficiary that they've selected, and that will move their assets, those assets, out of their estate. That would be using some of their gift tax exemption, and it can get kind of complicated. So you want to make sure you have an attorney help you set that up. But that would be one way we could use an irrevocable trust to gift assets and reduce the size of the estate for potential estate tax savings down the road. The other thing we could do is we could create an irrevocable life insurance trust. So we could put a life insurance policy inside of an irrevocable trust, and that is outside of your estate. So when you pass away and the life insurance policy pays off, the benefit from the life insurance policy doesn't get added to the tab of your estate. And that life insurance policy benefit is available to the beneficiaries of that irrevocable trust to use to pay off any estate tax liability that your estate may face. So if you're interested in learning more about how we help families protect their legacies from probate, predators, and government intrusions, I wrote a free book titled The Ultimate Gift that lays it all out. If you'd like to pick up your free copy of The Ultimate Gift, simply click the link below, give us your address and a credit card for shipping and handling fees, and we'll ship it out to you free of charge. Read The Ultimate Gift so you can learn how to protect your family. Another reason that we use irrevocable trusts is for long-term care planning. So, for example, if we need to qualify someone for Medicaid or for Veterans Aid and Attendance, we can use an irrevocable trust to do that. And that is a better solution than just gifting assets to someone, because we can protect the assets from their creditors, from the beneficiaries' creditors inside that irrevocable trust. So those are some reasons that you might want to think about using an irrevocable trust in your planning to protect your assets for future beneficiaries, or to protect them for yourself The benefits of an irrevocable trust. So let's talk about that. There can be tax advantages. So oftentimes if we have someone that's going through a business liquidation event, so they've sold their company or they've merged with a larger company, there are some specific types of irrevocable trust that we can use to gain some tax advantages for them. So we might use an intentionally defective grantor trust, or we might use a BDIT in those types of situations. Irrevocable trusts offer asset protections we've discussed and privacy from public probate processes. So by having the assets in an irrevocable trust, we put the instructions in there for what's going to happen after the trustor dies, and we don't have to go through probate. We don't have to go get permission from the judge and appoint somebody to take care of it. The trustee just distributes the assets out of the trust pursuant to the instructions. So that is a great way that you can avoid probate with respect to those assets that are in the irrevocable trust. So let's talk about some common misconceptions about irrevocable trusts. Oh, they're just too complicated. Well, it's not the kind of thing you could do on your own, but a qualified estate planning attorney can help you with it. A qualified estate planning attorney should be able to talk to you in common language, in simple terms, without using a bunch of fancy jargon that you don't understand. It's just like investments. If you don't understand it, it's probably not a good investment. Same thing with trust. If the attorney can't explain it to you in simple terms, then they might not understand it themselves, and it's probably not a good idea for you. You may also think, well, gosh, I don't have enough assets to worry about an irrevocable trust. And the truth is, I never think about a trust planning from the perspective of, what is your asset level? That's a mistake, because what's most important is what is the problem you're trying to solve and what's the right tool to solve that problem. There can be cases where an irrevocable trust is the right tool to solve the problem, even though the person might not be uber wealthy, one percenter. I never think about asset level as the way to determine what's the right strategy, what's the right estate planning tool to use, but rather what's the problem we're trying to solve, and then what's the right tool to help us solve that problem. Last, let's talk about how do you set up an irrevocable trust? Well, it all starts with that consultation with an attorney, and you should be prepared to talk to the attorney about the problem you're trying to solve. And that would be in a normal estate planning consultation with an attorney. You talk to them about, here's how I envision my estate being set up. Here's what I want to happen. And then they're going to say to you, well, here are the tools that we need to use to make that happen. One of which might be an irrevocable trust. They're going to be able to guide you through what is the right type of trust, how does it work, and then designing that trust for your specific circumstances. And then after it's designed and drafted, you execute the documents, helping you with either funding it or giving you instructions on how to fund that trust. After everything is set up, making sure that the trustee has any information they need and that everything is good to go going forward. And then they may be available to help your family when you pass away to administer that trust. When someone dies with a will, we call it probating their estate. If someone dies with a trust, we call it trust administration. So the attorney should be available to help with trust administration after you pass away. It's important, though, that you do this with a qualified estate planning attorney, because some of these strategies and trusts can be pretty complex, and you need somebody that knows what they're doing, has a little bit of experience with setting up these types of trusts, and understands what your individual needs and goals are and can tailor the plan to fit exactly what you need in your circumstances. So we've used irrevocable trust to help families with planning for long-term care when they needed to qualify for Medicaid, when they needed to qualify for Veterans Aid and Attendance. We've set up irrevocable trust at times when clients had estate tax issues and they wanted an easy way to solve that with some liquidity. So we would create the irrevocable trust, help them put the life insurance policy into it. And then we've also helped clients who are going through business liquidation events where they sold their company to someone else and we wanted to get some tax advantages. And in those cases, we'll use things like irrevocable trust, like the intentionally defective grantor trust or BDITs or things like that. So if you're thinking about setting up an irrevocable trust, don't wait until it's too late. The time to do it is right now. Reach out to an estate planning attorney to discuss your options and take the first step towards securing your financial future. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on making smart financial decisions. Thanks for watching this guide on irrevocable trust. Stay tuned for more tips on how to navigate the complexities of estate planning and protect what's yours. See you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then take a moment right now to subscribe by clicking below and turn on the bell notification so you get notified every time we post up a new video. Right now we're posting 3 videos a week with lots of information about various estate planning topics, so you're going to want to make sure to stay on top of that. Click below to subscribe and click right over here to watch the next most relevant video about estate planning. Go watch it now.